The second half is about to begin between Slippery Rock and Clarion. Slippery Rock leads 34-27. Again, we're back here at Waldo S. Tippin Gymnasium. The Golden Eagles trailing by 7. Matt, Clarion's right in this game.
Yeah, they are. 7-point game, right where they need to be. And these first 10 minutes are going to be absolutely critical because this Slippery Rock team has the ability, I'm sure they're not very happy with the way they play in the first half, to put Clarion back in its place, if you will, and pull away before Clarion could even breathe into the second half, which is something that Clarion's going to have to try and deny a little bit by doing what they're doing what they did in the first half, getting back defensively, aggressive defense, but smart defense, not turning the ball over, making their free throws, which they haven't done. They're 0 for 2, and trying to keep some good ball movement going, getting some offensive shots.
Let's look at some key statistics right now. The Rock has 18 points in the paint. Clarion has 12. That is the battle between Kromka and Luis Santos. Off turnovers, the Rock has 6 points. That means that's a big deal right now with the Golden Eagles only down by 6. They've got to keep control of that ball. Calvin Edwards has 3 turnovers. He's leading the Golden Eagles in that statistic, which is something you never want to do. So here we go, ready to start the second half. Marcus Jones inbounds to Lenny Patterson, and we're ready to go. Marcus gives the ball down low to Kromka. Kromka pulls up, shoots, no good. Rebound picked up by Perry, and he gives that ball off to number 20, Reeves, and that ball is taken away. Lenny Patterson ends up with the ball, and it'll slow things down. Another turnover for Lenny Patterson, one of the best in the country at forcing them.
And Anthony Baker, too, going to be another key play in the second half for Clarion, part of forcing another turnover for Slippery Rock.
Belovich has the ball, gives the ball to Kromka. Kromka going to the hoop. It's good. Kromka hard to the rim.
And once again, Mike Kromka picking up where he left off and being a presence in the post for Clarion, which is going to be Clarion's only shot and sticking with Slippery Rock in the second half.
Belovich knocks the ball out of the hands of Taylor. Taylor grabs the ball back. Taylor working down, goes to the hoop, draws the foul from Belovich. Taylor will go to the line for 2. Taylor, the 6'6" red-shirted senior. His hometown is Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Played a couple years at La Roche College. La Roche was just here a couple weeks ago and defeated Clarion. Devin Taylor misses his first free throw, but a lot of talent that comes out of La Roche. And I'm glad to see a couple players really have started playing big-time Division II basketball. Second shot is good for Devin Taylor. 35-29 is the score. Lenny Patterson works the floor for the Golden Eagles. Kromka, top of the key, passes to Baker. Baker trying to make a move. Goes up and somehow gets that to go. He contorted his body in more ways than Gumby to get that ball to go in.
Well, that was your classic circus shot right there. Anthony Baker really making something happen for Clarion throughout the entire game so far. He's playing fantastic.
Shot up is no good. Rebound picked up by Belovich. Taylor missed the shot. Belovich moving up the floor, going up against two Slippery Rock defenders and Belovich, and they call for an offensive foul there. Good job by Slippery Rock setting their feet.
Yeah, they got the charge there. I'm not sure if he actually set his feet, but tough call there for Corey Belovich. And so good job. Give credit to Slippery Rock there, getting back on defense and trying to force that.
So that's the first foul on Belovich.
And team fouls too. Clarion's got to watch themselves a little bit as far as defensively is concerned, staying aggressive but smart. 2 team fouls against them already.
Perry up and good. It takes a few bounces and drops. 37-31. And Lenny Patterson slipped and then had the ball go off a Slippery Rock player. They will keep possession. 18:03 remaining in the second half. I'm not going to say this game because this one, the way we're going right now, could go down to the very wire. 37-31. Marcus Jones. Just under 18 minutes. Back to Marcus. He gives it down low to Kromka. Kromka moving, kicks it out. Baker for 3. No good. Rebound is picked up. It looked like Kromka had it for a second, but he lost it. Slippery Rock moves up the floor. Down low. Slippery Rock, no good. Taylor missed again. Now Marcus Jones finds some space, goes to the rim, draws the foul.
And what Marcus Jones just did right there, Ian, is the first time that Clarion has done this all night. Just go and attack the rim and attack your guy that's defending you and try and force Slippery Rock into some fouls.
Foul will be called on John Bayardell. That's his first. First free throw is good for Marcus Jones.
And that's the first free throw of the night for Clarion, and they're going to have to keep knocking down their free throws down the stretch.
Second free throw is good for Marcus Jones. Clarion trails by 4, 37-33. Anthony Baker, playing very well so far, is on number 20, Reeves.
And then you're seeing a 2-1-2 full court press. Clarion has been running all season to try and put some additional defensive pressure on Slippery Rock, trying to force some turnovers on him, and they're known for being turnover prone.
Santos with a nice turnaround jumper. Puts the Rock up by 6. Just under 17 left to play in the second half. Marcus Jones gives the ball to Melovic. Kromka goes to the hoop, no good. Rebound picked up by Santos. And Kromka's a little late getting back defensively. Slippery Rock's gonna try to take advantage for 3, it's good! Devin Taylor puts the Rock up by 9.
Huge shot there by Devin Taylor, and I don't know, like Kromka was grabbing his mouth. I guess he must have got hit there going up for a rebound, and Slippery Rock made Clarion pay. A huge shot there by Devin Taylor.
Marcus Jones has the point. He goes to the rim. Marcus passes it off. He looked like he had a clear room go to the rim, but Kromka goes up and finishes the dirty work. Cuts the lead to 7. 35 points for the Clarion Golden Eagles. 42 for Slippery Rock. Bayardell working against Lenny Patterson. Bayardell keeps the ball. He's going to work around. Gives the ball off to Taylor. Taylor kicks the ball out. It's a 2-point shot. It's good. Bayardell.
Slippery Rock executing the pick and roll very well in this second half, something that Clarion had kind of knocked down a little bit in the first half, and Slippery Rock's really picked that up offensively.
Baker gives the ball to Belovic. Belovic to Kromka. Kromka pulls up, shoots, no good. Rebound was picked up by Taylor, and here goes Slippery Rock again. Back to work on the offensive side of the glass. And Perry from underneath gets it to go. That's an 11-point lead for the Rock. Marcus Jones in transition goes and is denied. Santos in that big 6'10" body. Denied Marcus Jones. Here comes Slippery Rock. And a pull-up shot, Bayardell, no good. Rebound picked up by Santos. Down low to Perry, and he draws the foul from Marcus Jones.
Slippery Rock trying to take control of this game little by little with their largest lead at 11 now at 46-35. Critical stretch now for Clarion to try and keep the deficit in single digits, or else Slippery Rock's going to try and run away with it.
That's the third foul on Marcus Jones. He's going to take a seat. 46-35, a change of pace from Slippery Rock. They went from going pretty fast in the first half to really fast in the second half. They are playing at a whole new speed.
And now they have Clarion on their heels now, especially now clinging to an 11-point lead. Clarion's going to try and weather this storm a little bit, fight back, and get some shots offensively as they've gone cold to start off the second half.
Speaking of gone cold, Mike Kromka, who couldn't miss in the first half, has missed a few shots that have been of key importance for the Golden Eagles.
Yeah, and he doesn't look as quick that he did in the first half, too. He doesn't have that dominating presence like he had in the first half. You know, he's been grabbing his mouth and jaw area ever since that he couldn't get back, and then Devin Taylor made that huge three to make it 42-33, the 9-point game. And from that point on, Mike Kromka just hasn't been the same, so I'm not sure maybe if he's trying to battle an upper body injury. I'm not sure what the case is, but he's not looking like himself. but he's still out on the floor though for Clarion. Maybe he just got to.
I think part of the problem is look at the guys he's going up against. He
That's
might
true
just,
also.
as a smaller guy, he might just be getting worn down.
He could be too. That's a tough matchup he has facing Luis Santos, which he's done an excellent job on him for the most part. Santos is, again, 6'10", 230 senior out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. So tough matchup for Kromka.
First shot is good. Perry for his second shot. The Rock is up 47-35. Chance to make it 48. No good. Rebound picked up by Baker. Ball is given to Lenny Patterson. Lenny working against Shaquan Davis. Calvin Edwards, he's been quiet this whole half. Baker, ball in hand, gives the ball back to Lenny Patterson. Lenny trying to find some space, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Lenny shoots, good! Lenny cuts it to 10.
Every time Lenny Patterson has had the ball, he's knocked it down. Clarion should try and go to him a little bit more often here in the second half.
Santos gives the ball to Shaquan Davis. Bayardell working against Calvin Edwards. Bayardell goes to the hoop, gives it off to Perry, and dunks it on Mike Kromka. Mike Kromka was just posterized.
And a total mismatch there from Calvin Edwards trying to face Bayardell. Totally went right past him with ease to try and then got that dunk.
Calvin Edwards gets the ball and loses it. But it's going to be off on slippery rock, so Calvin Edwards will not have his fourth turnover. Clarion will keep the ball with 23 seconds on the shot clock. And man, oh man, is this Slippery Rock team explosive.
Yeah, they are, and they're really starting to show it the second half. I think maybe the entire team for Clarion, we talked about Mike Kromka being a little bit worn down. I think you're seeing this entire Clarion team a little bit worn down, trying to cover these guys.
Kromka gives the ball to Lenny Patterson, 13 and a half minutes remaining. Lenny Patterson gives the ball to Calvin Edwards, now to Baker. Baker tries to find some space, pulls up, shoots it, and no good. Rebound picked up by Santos. Santos to Shaquan Davis. Davis goes to the rim, puts it up, no good. Rebound picked up by Calvin Edwards. Calvin up to Baker. Baker gives it to Mike Kromka. Kromka to Calvin Edwards. Calvin Edwards gives that ball off. Calvin looked like he had an open look at a three.
Calvin Edwards has shunned himself away from any open looks that he's had in this game, which shows he doesn't have very much confidence in himself, which can be very concerning offensively for Clarion.
Colbert to Lenny Patterson. Lenny for two, rims out. Slippery Rock moving on the floor. Bayardell has the ball in hand. Bayardell, he shoots, no good. Rebound picked up by Baker. Baker, head on a swivel, gives the ball to Dave Colbert. Colbert to Calvin Edwards, back to Lenny. Golden Eagles are aiming to take their time to set up their offense. 20 seconds on the shot clock, 12-10 remaining in the ball game.
Smart decision here by Clarion, because every possession from here on out is so critical.
Colbert gives the ball to Lenny Patterson. It's taken away by Shaquan Davis. Shaquan going to the rim, is patient, and puts that ball up.
Careless with the basketball there between David Colbert and Lenny Patterson, and neither one of them could stop Shaquan Davis coming back on the other end. Can't afford to do that when you're now down by double digits and now down by 14.
51-37. Shaquan Davis against Lenny Patterson. Now Anthony Baker has the ball. 11:35 remaining. Baker shoots. No good. Rebound picked up by Kromka. Kromka kicks that ball out to Lenny. Lenny for three. No good. Didn't even hit the rim. Calvin Edwards, he was able to grab the rebound, drove that foul. So Clarion trying to fight back.
The one thing Clarion is failing to do now offensively, we talked about on the top of the broadcast, Ian, keep the ball going, get some good ball movement around, keep these guys on their heels defensively for Slippery Rock, because we know what kind of an aggressive team they can be, as you saw right there with Shaquan Davis. They're not doing that. They're just taking a couple dribbles, one pass or two, and then you have a guy chucking up the ball trying to make something happen. they got to keep that ball going around the perimeter. As you saw right there, they were able to get a foul from Calvin Edwards, and he's going to have 2 free throws at the line. They just got to keep the ball moving, going, keep doing what they've been doing successfully that they saw in the first half.
So as we just saw that replay there, that was the dunk that Perry laid down on Mike Kromka. And Kromka, as we have mentioned, Matt, has not been the same since coming out here in the second half. Looks like he's just being worn down by having to guard Luis Santos, that 6'10" senior from Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's a tough matchup. We knew that coming in, but Santos isn't an offensive guy, but man, defensively, he is a mismatch of eminent proportions for the Golden Eagles.
Absolutely, he's very strong, and obviously that size has a lot to do with it. And as we've said time and time again throughout the whole game, Kromka's done a good job with him on both ends of the floor, but starting to get to Kromka just a little bit, and you can see that in his play, which has diminished through the last couple of minutes.
So 11:24, again, a quick basketball game we have on our hands here. It seems like just, I don't know, maybe a couple minutes ago we tipped off for this game. We're already 3/4 the way through this game. Calvin Edwards, his first free throw is no good. Calvin Edwards really struggling today. Only has 2 points right now. Trying to get his first points of the half, and he gets it there with a free throw. 51-38, Slippery Rock leads. Jaquan Davis gives it to Perry. Perry gives it off to number 4, Darius Clark. Darius gives it to Taylor, and he draws the foul. That's the foul's going to be called on Lenny Patterson. That's his third. Third team fourth for Clarion. Jaquan Davis inbounds it, and a foul's on Marcus Jones this time. Clarion trying to be aggressive, getting to the ball. The 5th team foul on the Golden Eagles now.
And those are the chances that they're going to have to take now, especially down by 13. It worked for them in the first half a little bit. They still got called for a couple of reach-in fouls here and there, but not going nowhere so far in the second half.
Perry shooting his free throws. The first one is good. Anthony Baker checks in for Marcus Jones. To Barry Perry for his second free throw. Is good. 53-38, the Golden Eagles trail. Lenny Patterson up against Jaquan Davis. Patterson gives the ball to Calvin Edwards. Calvin down low to Kromka. Kromka trying to find some room, trying to rejuvenate this team, and gets it finally to go. Kromka.
Once again, he finally got the old home roll there, Ian, and that could be something to try and spark Clarion and try and get a good run going. They still have some time to try and get on a nice run and get back in this game.
Darius Clark working against Calvin Edwards. Clark pulls up, shoots, no good. Lenny Patterson skies to the rebound. Lenny working against Jaquan Davis. And the ball is taken away. And a dunk, or more or less a layup for Darius Clark. And Lenny Patterson.
Another bad turnover there in between Patterson and Calvin Edwards on a miscommunication there. And not the time right now for Clarion to be throwing the ball around and forcing and getting themselves into some bad situations.
And you can see that
15.
the frustrations for Lenny Patterson were very apparent with Calvin Edwards. Calvin looked like he was going one way. Lenny thought he was going another. Ball's taken away. Darius Clark just goes right to the rim. Too much speed, too much quickness, too much athleticism, too much skill for Slippery Rock to be doing stuff like that.
And Slippery Rock, too, continues to score off of turnovers. They had a 6-0 advantage at halftime, and they've continued to do that in the second half, and that's really killed Clarion, too.
So 10-17 remaining. Looking at the foul situation, Clarion has 5 this half, while Slippery Rock only has 2. And that's bad news for Clarion that they have 5 fouls late in this game. They're going to start seeing Slippery Rock going to the free throw line here pretty soon. With only 10-17 remaining, it's going to be tough for the Golden Eagles to get back into this, especially since Kromka has quieted down in this half.
And that's why I mentioned when we were about a minute and a half in, when Clarion already had 2 team fouls, that they had to watch themselves defensively, but still try and continue to stay aggressive, but be smart about it, because you don't want to see yourself in this situation now 2 fouls away from seeing Slippery Rock go to the free throw line. And actually, they've struggled, as I said in the top of the broadcast, only shooting 76% as a team from the charity stripe, but they're shooting over 80% tonight.
Belovich has the ball, 10:07 remaining. Saquon Davis has been all over Lenny Patterson today. What a matchup between those two very similar players. Belovich trying to find some room. He kicks it out to Calvin Edwards. Calvin doesn't take the shot. He goes now and draws the foul. That's the foul is going to be called on Perry.
Not a bad decision there by Calvin Edwards to try and drive, get the foul, get to the free throw line. He also stopped the clock too. But again, he had another open look behind the arc and he avoided it. And I really think that's a little bit of underconfidence right now for Calvin Edwards, which is not very good for this Clarion offense.
That's a miss of the free throw by Calvin Edwards. To Barry Perry, the man called for the foul. That's his first of the night. Calvin's second shot is good. And now we'll see Tyrone McFadden checking in for Calvin Edwards with 9:49 remaining in this game. 55-41. They just changed the clock upstairs. So 55-41 is the score. And Darius Clark shoots it, and it's good. That kills Clarion right there. 58-41 is the score. Quick shot by Kromka, no good. Rebound picked up by Santos. And Slippery Rock starting to run away. Oh man, Devin Taylor.
And when you start seeing an alley-oop there, Ian, you can tell it's Slippery Rock starting to pull away a little bit here. And that's unfortunate for Clarion, but they still have a tad bit of time to try and get a run going, but it's just not working.
They're running out of time. Lenny Patterson draws the foul from Alvin Reeves. He'll go to the line for 2. Lenny Patterson, as great as he's played this year, he continues to struggle at the free throw line. His first shot here is good.
Really, and it's been a struggle for the entire team. And that was one concern that Coach Ryder had coming into this season. We talked about him during the preseason. Something that they've always worked on during practice, but it just hasn't been brought onto the game floor.
Lenny misses the second. Rebound is picked up by Slippery Rock. And now Reeves has the ball working up the floor. Gets it to Saquon Davis. Saquon finds some room, gets to the rim, and it's picked up by Santos, who kicks it right back out. Santos has just been a force down low today.
And that was a huge rebound too, because now Slippery Rock, being at the advantage out there where they're at with a 16-point advantage, can now try and chew the clock a little bit.
And Darius Clark for 3, he's got it.
And that might be the dagger for Clarion right there. 8.5 to go.
61-42. McFadden gives it to Baker. Baker to Belovich. Belovich goes to the rim. He gets it to go. 8:23 remaining. Slippery Rock has the ball. Saquon Davis working against Lenny Patterson. Gives that ball up to the corner. Clark again, no good. Rebound this time picked up by Kromka. Up quickly to Baker. Baker cuts in, goes to the rim, draws the foul. He'll go to the line for 2.
Good job there by Anthony Baker to continue to drive the ball, keep Slippery Rock on their toes for a little bit, and force another foul and get to the free throw line. And now both teams are at 5 team fouls.
Baker's first shot is good. 61-45. Davis, second shot is good. Or excuse me, Baker.
So we both keep going tonight. Not a bad comparison for Anthony Baker.
Slippery Rock trying to close things out here in Clarion. Taylor has the ball, gives it off to the corner where Darius Clark is there, gives it low to Santos. Santos against Dave Colbert. Santos misses the shot. And somehow Slippery Rock keeps it alive, and they continue to do. Still, just the second chance opportunities for Slippery Rock has just been night and day compared to what Clarion's been able to bring.
And Clarion did a good job in preventing that in the first half, but in the second half, second chance points have been all Slippery Rock, and that is killing Clarion right now.
7:10 remaining. Lenny Patterson going to the rim and is denied. Here comes Slippery Rock again. Bayardell goes right to the rim. Anthony Baker got caught napping. And Coach Ron Ryder is furious.
On those last two possessions defensively for Clarion, they've been caught standing around, and you cannot stand around against this team because you're going to give them easy buckets like that. There was nobody near any Slippery Rock shooter on those last two possessions within 5 feet of them, and that's just standing around, and that's just pure laziness right there for Clarion defensively.
You wonder if it wasn't maybe so much laziness, just as in there's so much speed on that court.
I think that too, and that's possible. And going back to the fact that we talked about before, they're probably just a little bit worn out too, trying to defend these guys.
So we're under 7 minutes to go. 65-46. Slippery Rock up big, up by 19 right now. Not quite an insurmountable lead just yet, but it's getting close.
And offensively though, for Clarion, Ian, they gotta keep working at it. They gotta keep battling and try and cut the lead down a little bit, as it is close to being an insurmountable lead.
Lenny Patterson has the ball for the Golden Eagles. Gives that ball off to McFadden. McFadden working against Bayardell. Good D by Bayardell, but the Golden Eagles will keep possession.
And John Bayardell's had a nice second half. Defensively, on both sides of the floor, really, for Slippery Rock. Playing good disciplined defense, and he's made a ton of huge shots for Slippery Rock in the second half, and been a big reason why Slippery Rock has the advantage at 19 right now.
And we're gonna have a media timeout. Checking in for the Golden Eagles is Drew Vandermeer. The first time we've seen this 6'6", 185-pound senior play. Drew Vandermeer transferred from Grove City last season. Didn't see a lot of playing time last year. Hasn't seen a whole lot this year either, but we'll see him come in against Slippery Rock here later on. And hey, Vandermeer has 6'6", 185-pound body. Maybe he matches up a little bit better against Devin Taylor, because Devin Taylor has been scorching Corey Belovich.
We might as well try anything at this point, being down by 19, but I think that's actually going to be a mismatch, and because of the inexperience that Drew Vandermeer will have now, and I just don't think he has that same quickness either to try and match up to it. But at this point, you might as well try anything when you're down by 19 with under 7 minutes to play. But Drew Vandermeer, though, to his credit, has been a good addition off the bench for Clarion this year. Much improved from what very little we saw from him last season.
So Lenny Patterson is about to inbound with 6:42 remaining. Zaquan Davis will be matched up against Lenny Patterson. And that ball goes to Marcus Jones. Jones back to Lenny Patterson. Lenny trying to find some space. Gives the ball to Kromka. Kromka shoots, no good. Lenny tries to get that rebound. He does, but it's off his hands and right to Slippery Rock.
And Kropka continues to be really cold offensively here in the second half.
Bayardell has the ball, gets it down low. No good. Santos gets it to go. Original shot was Jordan Grady, the red-shirted freshman, who's getting some playing time from Coach Kevin Reynolds. Now Vandermeer gives that ball up to Lenny Patterson. Now to Baker. Baker. Back to Vandermeer. Baker finds some space and is denied. Wow.
Luis Santos, as you've said, Ian, throughout the entire game, has been a force and a brick wall down low. And you just saw that right there with that resounding block.
Anthony Baker might be seeing, he just might be seeing Luis Santos in his dreams tonight after that. 5 seconds on the shot clock for Lenny Patterson. Pulls up, shoots, no good. Rebound is going to be picked up by Marcus Jones after his tip. And Drew Vandermeer goes to the rim and draws the foul.
Nice play there by Drew Vandermeer down low to get the pass from Marcus Jones, try the reverse layup, and he gets himself to the free throw line.
That's going to be the third foul on Luis Santos. Golden Eagles trailed 21, 67 to 46. First shot from Vandermeer is no good.
And Luis Santos, to his credit, Ian, only his third foul. He had, because of his size, you'd think a lot of people just go right after him and get himself into foul trouble right away. He has such great defensive fundamentals that he keeps himself, that prevents himself from getting into those situations.
Rebound picked up by Slipperock up to Saquon Davis. Davis goes to the rim and a hard foul by Anthony Baker onto Saquon Davis. So Davis will go to the line for two. And it seems as this game grows to its midnight hour, the Clarion Golden Eagles are getting slower and Slippery Rock is getting faster.
Yeah, they're really starting to pull away now, Ian, and Saquon Davis has been a real factor to that. He's just so quick, and he's been that the entire game, giving the Golden Eagles some issues.
First shot for Saquon Davis is good. And Slippery Rock, like a great big snake right now, is just squeezing the life out of the Golden Eagles. And that shot is good by Davis. Marcus Jones with 5:24 remaining. Gives the ball to Lenny Patterson, 69-46. The Golden Eagles trail. Marcus Jones down low to Kromka. Kromka kicks it out to Baker. Baker pulls up, and a circus shot is good somehow. Saquon Davis has the ball for the Rock. 5 minutes remaining. And Saquon Davis turns around Marcus Jones, goes to the rim, and somehow is able to keep it. Here's the three, no good.
Drew Vandermeer with a nice block, too, on Saquon Davis.
And Kromka will finally get on the board. And Clarion's going to have possession awarded to them. I'm not really sure why Clarion has the ball right now. I must have missed something. Anyway, Clarion has the ball. Back to Kromka. Kromka drives, and he's denied by Santos. Santos will get the foul. That's his fourth. So we're getting late in the game. This is the final remote event for the season for CUTV. We'll be back in the springtime, but we'd like to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Brian Such and Selena. Say hi, Brian. There you go. Brian's the man. He's graduating in, well, next week, I suppose. We're going to miss Brian and Selena, who's not here tonight. We're going to miss you two a lot. We'd like to thank you so much for all the things that you have done and all of your hard work. Good luck in the future. Kromka hits his free throw. 69-52 is the score. Bayardell has the ball, working against Marcus Jones. Gives that ball off to Darius Clark. Back to Bayardell. Gives that ball to Grady, and it's moving around now to Santos. Santos loses the ball, but a foul is going to be called. That'll send Santos to the line. And that foul will be called on number 31 of the Golden Eagles, Drew Vandermeer. That's his first, team 7. Lewis's shot is no good. Rebound is picked up by Vandermeer, but it's out of bounds off Vandermeer. Oh no, they're gonna say that ball is out of bounds on Jordan Grady.
Yeah, I think Vandermeer got away with that one there. I thought it went off of him too, trying to go for it off the free throw.
We're nearing the 4-minute mark of this one. Marcus Jones gives the ball to Vandermeer. Vandermeer to Lenny Patterson. Patterson gets it down low. Kromka trying to find some space, kicks it out to Marcus Jones, who shoots a 3, and it's good.
Good find there by Mike Kromka to get Marcus Jones the ball. Try and get Marcus Jones some confidence as he's trying to be one of the primary shooters of this team, and he struggled out of the gate this season.
Darius Clark goes and is fouled on the way by Anthony Baker. And now we have a media timeout, so during this time we'll talk about the game that Clarion was in going into halftime, and did not take Slippery Rock long to put their stamp all over this one.
Yeah, well, that was one thing that we kind of feared going into the second half, was that Slippery Rock was going to come in here and do their part and put this game away, and don't give any Clarion any chances to try and steal one from them. This is a very good Slippery Rock team at 4-1 on the year, and this is actually a big game too for Clarion, as they were trying to get back to 500 after not going back under 500, losing to Millersville on Sunday. Obviously, that probably will not be the case tonight, and Clarion are now fall to 2-4. And this is our first divisional game for both Slippery Rock and Clarion. So that was a big game in that regard too, as far as Clarion's concerned. But Slippery Rock in this second half really showed why they are the better team and why they're just so difficult to stop. And that's their speed, that's their athleticism, and that's their ability to shoot the ball and play some really good, solid defense.
So 69-55, the Golden Eagles trail by 14. 3:40 remaining. To the line goes Darius Clark after being fouled by Anthony Baker. And he hits that first one. 70-55, a 15-point advantage. And the second one drops for Clark. 71-55, a 16-point advantage. Lenny Patterson shoots, and it's good. Lenny Patterson is pulling up gingerly, though. That is not good news for the Golden Eagles.
Oh, not whatsoever. If you're Coach Ron Ryder, you're pretty much out of this game with 3 minutes to go. You got to try and get him out.
Clark, ball in hand, up against Kromka. And Lenny's really hurting. And easily go to the rim goes Bayardell, who is up against Lenny Patterson. And Coach Ron Ryder will call the timeout and get Lenny off the floor. And right over to the trainers, Lenny Patterson will go.
A smart decision there by Coach Ryder. That's a real difficult injury. It looked like his quad or his calf or something that was bothering Lenny Patterson once he made that shot.
I would say even a calf maybe.
And that'd really be a shame for this Golden Eagles team if they actually lose Lenny Patterson for some time. Obviously, they'll lose him for the rest of the game, being that would happen in garbage time part of this game.
So 73-57, Lenny Patterson is out for the Golden Eagles, at least for the foreseeable future of this game.
And it doesn't get any easier for Clarion after tonight. They go on the road out east to Kutztown and East Stroudsburg, which will be two tough PSAC East opponents. And Kutztown beat them pretty handedly last season at Kutztown, but they were able to pull out a win against East Stroudsburg. Actually, is the defending PSAC champion. So two tough road games coming up for the Golden Eagles after tonight against Slippery Rock. And those two injuries of Battle and Patterson will be really crucial.
And Marcus Jones throws up a prayer and it falls. Makes the score 73-59, 2.5 remaining. Slippery Rock just going to be taking time off the clock here and getting out of here with a victory. Bayardell has the ball. He's just going to be working against Kromka. Bayardell finds some space, kicks it out to Clark, and it's stuck in the rim. Happens to the best of them.
that it does.
2:04 remaining, 73-59. Slippery Rock inbounds. Perry has the ball. Perry gives the ball to Bayardell. He shoots. No good. Doesn't hit the rim. Belovich gets the rebound. Belovich will give that ball to Marcus Jones. Under 2 minutes to go, 1:47. Marcus Jones from way downtown and banks it in.
Wow. Victory there by Marcus Jones. And I talked about, this is the type of the games now where the pressure's really not on you because the opponent
Well, this
has
game
it
isn't
in hand.
over now. It's only 73-62.
Usher, my math is wrong. But either way, it gives Marcus Jones some confidence that he's needed to try and get his shooting arm back.
And a foul is called. Devin Taylor had some space down low. Foul's going to be called on Kromka. That's his second foul. That's actually going to be called on Belovich. That's his second. Taylor's first shot is good. And Slippery Rock, one of the better teams in the PSAC. It can be expected that they will make a push to win the PSAC this year.
An impressive exhibition schedule that they have this year, beating Navy pretty handedly and going up against Michigan in what was Michigan's season opener. They lost pretty handily to that, but still they put up a fight against the top Division I school. Impressive exhibition schedule for Slippery Rock.
And there's bodies on the floor, no fouls are called. Slippery Rock has the ball, and we're in a trickle under a minute. So Clarion down by 13. And it looked like they were able to try to have some momentum after the Marcus Jones three-point attempt, but it has dissipated. And now Slippery Rock is going to pull away. They're up by 13. Another offensive rebound for Devin Taylor. And McFadden is trying to get a steal. Marcus Jones gets in there. Gives it back to McFadden, and it's lost. Slippery Rock has the ball. Shot clock's turned off. And that should be the end of it. So Clarion gonna fall to 1-2 in the PSAC. 7 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's your ball game, folks. 75-62, the Golden Eagles drop. A game where they were in it for a little while and just couldn't keep up with the Slippery Rock's a great team.
Yeah, they are, and as you said just a couple seconds ago, that's why this team is going to be battling for a PSAC championship this year. But there are some positives that the Golden Eagles can take out of this. I mean, they were right with this team in the first half. Just the second half, they came out flat, and if you come out flat against a team like the Rock, they're going to make you pay, and that's exactly what they did in the second half.
So the final score means, it's just, Clarion was just beat up pretty bad today. That's just what it pretty much comes down to.
Yeah, they were, especially, it took its toll in the second half. Then, like I said before, it doesn't get any easier. They go out east to Kutztown next week, and then at East Stroudsburg, two tough PSAC East teams that give them tough games last year. A bad loss to Kutztown last year. Actually, a big win over East Stroudsburg, who won the championship. And then they face Westchester here at home. They'll have an interesting game against Cheney and Central Penn, and then they go back on the road out east to Mansfield and Bloomsburg. So it really doesn't get any easier from here as far as the schedule is concerned. But again, some good positives coming out of this game, facing a very good Slippery Rock team that just took advantage of them in the second half.
So that is all for us here From Waldo West Tipping Gymnasium, for Matt Cacciarello, I am Ian Hunter. We'll see you next spring for more basketball action. Thank you again to all the seniors that worked so hard for CUTV. We'll catch you next time. We'll be back in late January. Be sure to stay tuned. You've been watching CUTV Sports.